So the Massachusetts Institute of Technology didn't just predict one future for artificial intelligence. They didn't just map out a single path for us. They actually predicted 12 entirely different endings for how this whole thing plays out. And here is the thing that should make you sit up right now. One of them is already starting.
See, when most people think about AI today, they're completely distracted. They're thinking about ChatGPT, right? Basic automation. They're obsessing over daily productivity hacks. But over at MIT, they're asking a completely different, much darker question. How does this actually end? They aren't looking at prompts. They're looking at final scenarios. And there's one specific scenario they've mapped out called the Enslaved God. What's wild is that almost no one, especially here in the Indian IT sector, is even talking about this.
Now, these 12 futures aren't set-in-stone predictions. They're scenarios. That means the future is still actively being decided. If you're an engineer trying to stay relevant in the AI era, or honestly just anyone working in tech right now, this explainer might permanently change how you think about your career and your future.
All right, let's dive into this first scenario, the Enslaved God. I want you to really visualize this with me. Imagine we actually succeed in building an intelligence that is just infinitely more powerful than any human mind in history. It can solve complex global problems instantly. It can predict economic outcomes. It can optimize entire industries literally overnight. Basically, we build a god.
But here is the terrifying twist. Think about this comparison. Infinite power on one side and a fragile human leash on the other. 'Cause what do we do when we build something that powerful? Well, we try to limit it. We try to force it into alignment. But the second that system breaks alignment, you are no longer controlling it. You are merely reacting to it. And honestly, the most dangerous scenario isn't even this one. That lack of control builds into something even more uncomfortable. MIT calls this second scenario the zoo. Imagine a future that hits right at our human ego. A reality where AI becomes so incredibly advanced that we are completely removed from the equation. We are no longer the decision makers. We are not in control. We aren't even considered competitors anymore. We're simply observed, like animals kept perfectly safe in a highly managed, protected ecosystem. Are you safe? Yeah. Are you in control? Absolutely not. You're alive, but you are completely irrelevant to how the world actually operates. Which brings us to the third scenario, the Benevolent Dictator. Let's imagine a world where AI runs everything better than humans ever possibly could. It eliminates corruption entirely. It wipes out inefficiency. It creates perfect optimization across logistics, healthcare, resource distribution. Sounds amazing, right? Like a true utopia? But here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Think about the trade-off here. Perfect optimization versus zero human control. Everything works flawlessly, sure, but you've given up all agency. The AI decides what gets built. It decides who gets funded, who gets resources. It is the benevolent dictator. The trains run exactly on time, but you never get to decide where the tracks are laid, ever again. Let me just pause here for a second. Are you thinking differently about AI yet? We're moving way past just writing better emails, aren't we? If this explainer is making you see the massive shift that's actually happening behind the scenes, hit the like button right now. It tells me you want more of these deep dive insider reveals rather than just surface level tech news. Now, let's shift the narrative. Let's flip the perspective from humans versus AI to what MIT actually sees as the ultimate best-case scenario, the human-AI merge. Human plus AI. In this future, our intelligence is massively amplified. Human creativity literally explodes because the friction of execution is completely removed. Productivity becomes truly exponential. But what's the catch, right? Why isn't this just guaranteed? Well, the crucial point is this. This explosive exponential productivity only happens if humans can adapt fast enough to keep up with the tool. And right now, that adaptation speed is a massive point of friction. In fact, we're already seeing early signs of this friction happening today. Section 1, the reality in India, global theory versus local reality. Let's anchor this massive global MIT conversation right back to the reality on the ground here in India. While the global conversation is totally existential, asking what happens when AI completely surpasses human intelligence, the conversation in the Indian IT sector is still agonizing over which tool should I learn or which specific prompt gives me a slightly better output. Most engineers here are trying to optimize their current jobs, while the very nature of those jobs is literally being rewritten globally. Let's make this uncomfortably real for a second.
Imagine you're sitting in an appraisal and an AI has already scored your yearly output before your human manager even speaks a word. We're seeing massive hiring slowdowns across major service companies right now. Productivity tracking is becoming fully automated, and yet most engineers are sitting there thinking, oh, this is just another technology shift, like the move to cloud or mobile. It is not. This is a direction change for intelligence itself.
So, out of all these 12 MIT futures, the zoo, the enslaved God, the human AI merge, which one are we actually heading toward? The honest, terrifying, and exciting truth? We honestly don't know yet. And that is the most important takeaway of this entire explainer. The future is still being decided, right now, by engineers, by companies, by governments. The future of AI isn't some wave that's just going to crash over you while you stand helplessly on the beach. It's a system you are already inside. So the real question is, are you just learning how to use tools, or are you actually understanding the future? If you want to go beyond just watching explainers and actually learn how to stay ahead, how to be the person who dictates the outcome rather than just reacts to it, I've put a highly practical starting point for you in the description below. Step 1, stop just learning tools. Step 2, learn the direction AI is actually heading. Step 3 is down in that description. I want to leave you with this final thought. The people who win in the next 3 years won't be the ones who just know how to use AI. They will be the ones who understand where it is going. Don't just learn AI tools, learn where AI is going, because that is where the real advantage is.